the Patriots Prayer Podcast. It's a tremendous show, one of the greatest shows in the history of the world.
This is Bryson Gray, and you are watching the Patriots Prayer.
PPN, you're doing the right thing.
On the Patriots Prayer Network. Thank you all.
They all say, gather the faithful now and pray. The Patriots Prayer. The Patriots Prayer. All the wicks are trimmed, oil is filled to the brim. Changing somehow. I'm the radical now. America's falling, they all say. Gather the faithful now and pray. The Patriots.
He's just about to go live.
What's going on, Patriots? Back with another Patriot Prayer production for you. Today was we're in day two, and it was a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah, it was.
It was a little bit of a challenge. I was frustrated, ready to punch a wall.
Yeah, coming in this morning.
It was not fun. I know we said we started 7:30, guys, and that was the intention. I promise you, but God had other plans, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, we were here technically ready to go and set up and be on time, but then we get to one entrance and they tell us, no, you got to go around this way. Then we get to that entrance, they're like, go back to the original place. So it was like mom and dad working against each other. You know, go ask your mom, go ask your dad. But eventually we found it and we're here. We're finally live, only an hour late. I'm sure you guys missed us.
So we got a busy day planned. We have guys here from Shot with America. We're going to be we have another interview set up here. We have a couple of guests throughout the day. We're going to have Matt and Mercedes Schlepp tomorrow, and so it's just going to be a full day. We had Thomas Haviland yesterday, but I invited Thomas back, so he kicked the camera. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
The leg of the camera.
Yeah. So
sorry about that.
We have a tripod that's set up about 5 feet in front of the table.
Yeah.
Maybe we need just Maurice to just kind of guard it. Just strong arm around it.
So we're waiting in line yesterday for these badges to get up here and get our media passes. It took us hours to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But during that time yesterday, that little time frame, we got a chance to listen to Steve Bannon for a little bit.
About 5, 10, 20 minutes. I can't remember. It's been one long day already.
But it's been a really interesting time just seeing a lot of the creators, seeing a lot of the people who, I see it at a lot of these events. It's a lot of the same faces and a lot of collaboration and networking that takes places at events like this. And that's why they're so important for creators to come to.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to mention that it was really cool to meet some of the online personalities that I've known for years online. And then like Shell, Hatamali, 01. Got to meet her. I've been knowing her for about 5 years. Carly Bone. She's really awesome. I've followed her for several years. And it's just really cool to start to meet all those people in person and put an actual face to the name.
Right.
You know.
So we had Glenn Baker, who did a movie with Nate Kane and Ivan Raikland. We ran into him yesterday as well. And he's a little wild guy, man. He's a cool little guy.
Mm-hmm.
Genuine, got a heart of gold, though. Really does.
Yeah.
And so we know J.D. Vance is going to be speaking today.
Yeah.
And for everyone out there, I know this is probably going to be the televised event.
Oh, I'm sure it will.
Most certainly it's going to be a televised event. But let's talk about some of the things J.D. Vance has said up to this point.
Okay.
What about that speech he gave in Europe the other day?
So I was doing a lot of slot preparing to come up to CPAC. I only saw some clips. But J.D. Vance dropped the hammer.
He eviscerated them.
Yeah. Like I don't know. It was almost next level.
It was.
You know,
it was like getting scolded by your dad, like extremely bad.
Like pretty much just like, oof, you know. But,
so he starts off with some just kind of a jovial things. He gets a few laughs, a few claps, and then he goes and he says, I hope that's not the last applause I get, and then goes into this like 20 minute long berating of them of you guys are acting like Nazis essentially.
Right.
Like, I'm gonna just condense it down into
yeah.
And like this is what we fought against. This is what you used to be against, and now you've become what you hate.
He took the script that they've been trying to put on the Trump administration against them.
Yeah.
And the way he did it was smart because he started like the intro and he gained rapport of the crowd and everybody's like, yeah. And then that's when he turned it on. And
You're like, hold up, I just liked you 5 minutes ago.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, and we were talking about, Maurice and I were talking about John Kennedy yesterday about how he can politely just shred you.
Oh yeah. With
right.
Like a polite, I don't know, scalding or something. I don't know.
It's like have you ever met those people that can be nice to you while completely insulting you at the same time?
Right. That like those
that passive aggressive
like
kind of approach.
Kill them with kindness, but
he's got some of the best, like the best of John Kennedy clips are awesome. Right. So he goes into this speech and he's telling me he's going off. I respect Joe Biden. I respect Obama. They have a hard job, and then just
I don't know.
Absolutely,
that's a skill set, though. It's a real skill set to.
And he speaks slow, right? But it has a lot of impact.
Yeah. No. I'm just. I don't know. It's been different since inauguration day. Well, actually, since election day, and we're seeing like the effects right now. Over the last 4 weeks that Trump has been in office, it's like America has like done a 180.
Oh yeah.
You know, like with all the DEI programs that are gone, and I don't know how to. It's almost like an aura with America. It's almost like it's flipped because the last 4 years under the regime of Joe Biden, there was doom and gloom every day. Like even from the so-called leadership.
We were chastised for being who we were.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, Biden was saying, we're here to country. It's time to heal or something like that. And then immediately alienates half of the country.
Yeah.
Donald Trump and J.D. Vance haven't done that.
No.
They have always promoted America first.
I don't think they've ever said an evil word toward the supporters on the other side. I think that they have attacked values or the lack of values.
Correct. Yes.
But never have they ever called like your Democrat followers are garbage the way or your deplorables or your whatever. That's never happened.
That's for him.
And
sorry,
we're at a convention, so this.
Yeah, so
everybody's walking by, but that's what this is. It's a lot of fun. But who do you want to see here?
Me? The one person I really wanted to meet that will not be here, I believe, is Scott Presley.
He's only one state over. Like, I don't know.
I understand, but I would really like to shake his hand for everything that he's done for this country.
No, what I'm saying is he may come. He's really close by.
I think I know some people that have contacted him. I don't think he is coming. Unfortunately,
yeah, I figured he would. I mean, he should be here.
Well, I absolutely agree, but it's a busy man. He's doing a lot. Yeah, I mean, since the election, he still hasn't stopped. He's continuing on.
Let me ask you something, just to go back and digress a bit about what we're saying. We've seen a complete flip-flop in the value system pushed by the people running our country.
Correct.
And I'll admit something here, but you know what scares the hell out of me? Is that if a Democrat ever gets back in that office, what will happen immediately is like, you saw the pendulum swing this way, right?
Right.
And then it swings back even harder. It's like a canoe. You rock it, and then it flips. So
I guess what you're alluding to is that's how the communists operate. Is they will push until they get resistance, and then they'll back off, but they won't recede the entire way.
Right.
They'll be, a few inches further, and then before you know it, they're way on that other side.
Exactly.
So, hopefully America has finally learned their lesson. under Joe Biden and them. So I don't think we're going back to that.
I will go out on the limb and say what I think we're all feeling, that everyone wants to play like middle of the road and not really say what I'm getting ready to say. But I think we can never, as long as the Democrat Party is in its current way, we can never allow them to hold power again.
Oh, I absolutely agree, because they are never. So you have two different types of Democrats, right? You have your Kennedy, your old school Democrats. And then you have
what
your,
they used to call Dixiecrats, right?
Yeah. Then you have your actual communist Democrats. And those are the people that we cannot get back in power.
But I don't think we have any of the old kind left. I mean, this is why RFK had to leave the party.
Well, okay, so I think there's
Tulsi had to leave. There
correct.
are many people.
Well, I think the Republicans and Democrats themselves have they've been fractured. As far as there are more people that have common ground between the two parties than the people that you have your extremists on both sides. So I do feel there's a way to come together, Democrat and Republican, but there has to be conversation, not this dictatorship style.
But how do you conversate with people who say they want to get rid of the Electoral College?
Those are extremists. You cannot compromise an extremist.
So I would ask, who on the left right now is not in bed with that idea?
I would say, okay, like the RFKs, the Tulsis, even libertarians, I would say, are more liberal leaning than conservative. They're just kind of that mix.
No, what I'm saying is who on the left right now is not in bed with those radical ideas of gender theory and those things. I can't think of anyone right now on the left that has any common sense.
I mean, I think you'd be surprised. I think there are some. You just have to seek out for them. So if we get in that mentality where there are no people that we can convert to our side,
I would love to.
You know what
and
I mean?
I've met some. Kwanzaa Hall is a congressman who left the party.
Right.
But all the ones with common sense leave.
Well, correct, but it's still our duty to red pill or try to bring people to our
absolutely.
side. So if we stop doing that, then we are going to have two fractured parties.
Absolutely.
But that's the difference between us and the liberals. The liberals do not want to compromise. It's either comply or you're gone.
Yeah. I mean, you look what happened to Eric Davis in New York. He had some criticisms about the Biden administration.
Right.
And as a result, he got indicted for nonsense.
Oh, Eric Adams.
Eric Adams.
He said Eric.
Yeah. So
let's go chill.
There you go. Joining. Yes. Good idea.
Do you want your
Here, you want one? Oh, it helps if I open it the correct way.
Is it glitchy on stream or just?
No. Well, the glitchy video, but it's there we go.
you just moved too much?
The difference between yesterday and today is that there are several other people in the building streaming, so the internet is definitely much slower than it was in days prior.
Yeah, there you go.
So
Testing.
I mean, we don't have to.
So let's take a look at. Good morning, folks. Insanity. Hello, how are you, Mike Scott? How are you, Tom Troop? He said I did work for Medicare through a company captive. By the way, got a silicone bailout. Lionel Richie and Jeb Bush companies. They spoke about 2017 Forbes. I can say that the name of the company due to Medicare low and license get revoked.
What are you guys talking about?
So we're just basically we're comparing, like this is a thing. We saw Trump in office. We knew we were going in one direction. Biden came in immediately, stays in office for over a week, rescinds all of the Trump era policies, goes completely radical. Then we get on the other side of that issue and we have Tim Walz running with Harris. And we have a completely, I wouldn't even say progressive ticket. I would just, it was lunacy.
Yeah.
So what would happen right now after a Trump era presidency where
Take a selfie.
where we have another Democrat step into office?
Yes.
I mean, if you had to guess, and we have coming up in this election cycle after Trump, the left gets in office, what do you assume they would do?
Oh, they're absolutely going to try to return to where they were. But of course, yes. So they will seek their own retribution. So I think,
And that's what I want people to know.
At the end of the day, that just because we won the election does not mean we can stop. We can't foot on the gas pedal.
Exactly.
We have to continue. Like Kash Patel is going to be confirmed by the Senate today. And in my opinion, that is the most important of all the cabinet picks. But we can't slow down. We have to continue. All the way into midterms and just get as many people as we can on our side. So
This is a battle for hearts and minds, for certain.
Sorry,
And
you
so
guys.
I had an experience.
It was a sweet old lady.
At the airport, right? We look like the YMCA of.
that's fine.
This is. Just thought of that. But
I
anyway.
wore sleeves yesterday. I said I would wear
I could have
sleeves.
worn my construction vest, right?
Could have. That would have been hilarious.
I could have worn my construction vest.
Turn on there.
Yeah, we can go get a high vis after here. We can wear it tomorrow.
Yeah.
But no, it's. If I think that if they get back in office, they're no longer going to. They stop pretending to be following the Constitution anyway.
Correct.
They're not even pretending anymore. They say the quiet part out loud. They're just brazen.
Well, look at the Washington state government right now. It has a Democrat supermajority, and instead of learning from the experience that they had and the momentum shift to the entire country, instead of learning from that, they're doubling down on everything that made the Democrats lose nationwide. And they're not listening to the people at all. They're actually they're declaring a lot of the MAGA Trump supporters as an enemy of their movement. They're declaring them the polar opposite of what they want to do, and they're making it very, very clear that they're not moving in the direction that the people, the overwhelming majority of the people, actually want to see change happen in their governments, and they're just doubling down. So it's going to be a lot worse, and there'll be some more division.
But the funny thing is like I talked about this yesterday when we were downstairs. We were waiting. I think they do the Jedi mind trick, and they tell people they constantly assume that everyone on their side is 100% in bed with the ideas that they put forward, knowing that's not true. The media then reiterates that and says the same things. But if they polled the average people, they would find out very quickly their ideas are not popular. They're not popular. Nobody wanted men in women's restrooms. No one wanted 50-year-olds showering this at 13-year-olds. No one wanted any of those things. And to assume otherwise was nuts.
Yes, definitely. But what I think was the catalyst behind it was COVID.
Well, it definitely opened the door.
I'm not going to go into all of those details, but you saw how the Mockingbird media was in lockstep with the government and how they were able to control populace. And I mean, it was worldwide too. This is not just in the United States, but as we know with the globalist agenda, that's what they're trying to do. So I'm just saying, like, that mentality is what we have to break. The people that get peer pressured into these PSYOP campaigns, we have to break the cycle of those people that are in that, because they're broken right now.
Yeah.
So they're trying to.
What's that look like, though? What's the avenue for that?
It's subjective to every person. So I don't.
So are you saying that there's strength in individuality?
Oh my God. Okay.
Hey,
yes.
Yes,
absolutely.
No, but I was, I guess, alluding to how do we wake them up out of their spell? They say they're woke, but we obviously know they're actually not woke. And now even the term woke is ridiculous because they've ruined it.
Yeah. I think we have to retaliate with just as much force, but with the truth. So the things that they were hiding, like the Veris data and all of these different, like Fauci getting money, what would they call it? The Fauci money?
The grants.
Fauci files. Well, I mean, realistically, it's leading by example and then actually prosecuting the wrongdoing that was done. You can have some of my water if you'd like, there, Steve.
So
Oh, yeah.
I'm see here's my thing, right? And I think that we are it's if the answer is a little closer than we think. We're doing it right now, right? The enemy of the people right now are the mainstream media, the ones who got everyone asleep, hypnotized. They lied to them. They stoke fears. They spout. They essentially they lie to people. When Trump said fake news, do you realize they have been on his helmet every day since? No one's ever apologized. He's called them out. Leslie Stahl. All these people have absolutely been embarrassed by Trump. The media goes on 60 Minutes, edits an entire interview with Kamala Harris to make it. They started Joe Biden's interview, started streaming them live 10 minutes after he got done speaking, so they could edit out all the mistakes. This has been the ongoing, perpetual BS with the mainstream media siding with the left and attacking the right. And now we've seen USAID money get paid to very large media organizations, which were the same people that got the 4 whistleblower statements that were then used to try to impeach Trump. So there seems to be collusion. And so do we need to actually investigate mainstream media outlets?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, expose it. Like sunlight's the best disinfectant, and that's what Doge is doing. That's what Donald Trump has been wanting to achieve, is actually showing what's been going on behind the scenes. And mainstream media, they're dying. I mean, the example is that the Patriots Prayer Network is at CPAC right now in Media Row. We are actually taking over the spaces that the media, the mainstream media, usually has.
To be here.
Yeah, this used to be reserved for Fox News. This used to be reserved for
Only.
yes. There was only if you had the proper credentials and you were in the club would they ever allow you to be here as a media personality. But the Patriots Prayer Network is now here. We had Elena stop by, the based mother, stopped by earlier. She's at CPAC as well, and will be coming on for an interview soon. Which is, I mean, this is incredible that we're actually able to be here in this aspect and kind of take over the space that was being used and weaponized against the American people, because we're here to help expose the truth. We're here to actually give the American people a voice, the everyday working American that has particular beliefs and stands up for our rights and our country. And it seems like that hasn't been used properly by the media. It's been abused and it's been weaponized completely against the American people. And so we're taking over the space. We are the media now.
What do you guys think, though? You think that's been like that all along? Like, I mean, Trump came along and it was like a different era. But like, do you think that all the way, let's go all the way back, Reagan, Carter, all that. Do you think that this was already happening, but there was no opponent to it, so no one called it out?
I think Donald Trump was the actual catalyst for all of this. I think everybody had like a sneaking suspicion, never trusted the government, right? But I in my opinion, I think everybody at some point understands how propaganda works. Whether the difference between us and the communist left is we understand what it is and we try to change it. On their side, what they do is they actually know it's going on but participate in it. That is a different. That's the difference between the two.
Yeah.
So
I think the internet made some big help in
I think
being
it's
able
got
to get
both. The
information.
internet has did both extremes. It's helped and hurt. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's for sure. But the problem with the internet for the mainstream media is that it's
Guys,
able,
please be careful of the camera.
it's able to be debunked rapidly for the people who are curious, right? The truth is, it may not spread as fast as the propaganda lies, but eventually it's going to come out. And the more that people are like us are able to find that information, expose it, and shine a light on the lies that the mainstream media has been telling us, then the more people that are going to stop supporting the mainstream media. And we already see that generationally. It sure seems like the millennials and Gen Z are way less trustworthy of the mainstream media, and eventually it's going to die out because people aren't going to watch.
Well, here's what the mainstream media is doing to combat that exit of just abandon that has happened where they don't have any trust. Now the mainstream media are now entering in the podcast zone.
Yeah, I think
Will Kane, Sean Hannity, and many others are now in the podcast zone. We know like Glenn Beck, but Glenn Beck was a different kind of a guy. He was always a trailblazer. He was Tucker Carlson before Tucker Carlson emerged, really. He was like that kind of a personality.
You're blocking the whole camera, by the way.
Huh?
On your phone.
Oh. I'm like, it's fine.
Yeah, I think podcasting is the way forward, honestly. Because like you were saying, look the influence that Bongino has, Joe Rogan. Like that to me is more reliable than the mainstream or legacy media. A lot of people tune in for opinions because they're just tired of that. People can understand that everything's a script.
They're just making me nervous.
Yeah, I know. That's why I keep looking that way to make sure people aren't.
Oh, not you guys. Right?
They can try to enter the podcast sphere, but the problem is that people are really seeing through the facade that the mainstream media has put up, trying to say that, oh, we're neutral, I'm one of you.
No.
Eventually that comes through when
you're not one of us.
When you're a multi-millionaire and you've been fed a script to repeat your entire life,
right,
and that's been your whole career, then the critical thought or independent thought, just jumping into a podcast sphere, it's going to shine through, and people are going to be able to see it.
You're a part of the Mockingbird media, which is what he said earlier. Mockingbird media. Do you really think the Mockingbird media has the balls, guts, or tenacity to come on this side of the aisle and come on here and say things that they wouldn't say on the mainstream media?
Never.
Right? Would they even say the term Mockingbird media when they know it's true? So that's the point I'm getting at. Is like until now, the intelligence, I'm just going to say, everybody think the intelligence agency probably controls a lot of what happens in the mainstream media, right? So, and what they really hate is the fact that there's no one controlling us.
Yeah.
Right. So if the power pendulum ever tips back in the other direction, the regulation that will probably fall on us, maybe FCC licenses will be necessary, and you have to go through all kinds of. I think they wanted to get to a place where we couldn't just stream without them controlling us.
Yeah.
And that's a dangerous thing because it'll be done in the name of safety, like all the other stuff they do.
Yes. And I kind of disagree with the FCC portion. I don't believe there should be any government agency or three-letter organization that's controlling anything in your life.
I agree.
So, and I mean, I'm not going to call everyone out, but, all the three letters, but free speech is free speech is free speech. And then I don't think there should be any entity that can control what people say.
Well, now that we have the internet and a place like X to stream and Rumble as well, it's changing the game and what people are tolerating, what people are enjoying. They are just they're tuning out of the mainstream area, and so in all reality, they can try to infiltrate, they can try to put up barriers, but somebody like Steve, Eddie, and I, it's not in the benefit of the people to pull the ladder up behind us. And as we get bigger, as the Patriots Prayer Network gets bigger, and all our podcast hosts start to grow a following, and people start to see what we're trying to do, then it will only benefit the people to raise as many up as we can, and not have those regulations put in place afterwards, right? Not to be putting that on the future podcasters or the ones who are just now starting out.
So what does that look like though? What kind of regulation, law, amendment, or what does Donald Trump have to do while he's in office right now to ensure that a future administration can't come in and just take our freedoms away at fiat just by the stroke of a pen? Is there such a thing that can be done? Because I thought it was the Constitution, but what we've learned over the last few years is even that doesn't protect us.
Correct, and I don't think there should be a law or anything set up.
I told you.
Yeah.
Hey, brother. Can you tap this guy for me? Yeah.
The one that's about to knock the camera over him. Yeah.
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 Can you scoot off away from the camera, please?
Thank you.
I'm about to have it. I'm gonna go stand on that
Yeah.
side and just like
I'm gonna have Matt come in. I'm gonna fix the camera for you guys.
All right.
Because I want to have you guys interview Matt right now. Excuse me. Yes, you did. You're good.
We got
have him sit in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll bring him up. As you
Is
guys
your
can,
angle right now?
yeah, it's
Is
perfect.
it even?
It's perfect.
Okay. So if you'll go in there and sit down.
Hey, Eddie.
So here's. Spin that on. You're good. As high up as you can. Yeah.
Eddie, it
You
says
know how
your,
to wear a wire. You were.
says your
I only
PC.
put them on people. I don't wear them.
Eddie, it says your PC isn't plugged in.
Oh, it's right there.
Oh, like the power.
Why isn't it? Right there. It's right there. See the big block?
Yes.
Right there. Yeah. Is it plugged
Okay.
into the
Yes.
deal? So is it there? Does that matter?
Yes. Maybe. Oh. Okay. Perfect.
All right. So we have a few minutes, and then we have to swap out, and we'll swap back in.
Okay.
So you guys, go ahead. You got like 5 minutes.
Okay. Well, can you tell us about a little bit about yourself?
Yeah.
Good morning. So I'm Matt. I'm with Shop with America.
Okay.
And it's just a family-run, Made in America shopping club. We've been around 40 years, and it's just everyday stuff that you buy every day. Instead of Walmart, we have a manufacturer that makes everything here in America, rather than all this made in China garbage that we're all exposed to every day.
So we got Matt Slap. He's gonna come in,
Okay.
and that's
Is it that time already?
that's that time.
Oh wow, it is. Yeah, it's 9.
Can we go ahead and get him in?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You're live right now?
Yep.
I'm gonna leave my jacket over.
You're good.
This is the president of CPAC.
Okay. Okay.
Matt Schlapp.
Should I take my headdress off?
No, why would you do that?
Am I sitting there?
Yes, sir.
Right here.
What am I on here?
The Patriots Prayer Network.
YouTube,
All right, I
Facebook.
like that. Good to see you. How are you?
It's nice to meet you, Matt.
Nice to meet you as well. What's your guys' names?
Maurice, I'm the Native Patriot Online,
Okay.
and we run a.
Good to see you. Yeah, folks, I love it out there. Yeah, it's a great place. Have you seen it yet? No, thank you. Okay, it's got profile of Trump.
We get the microphone.
Oh, that's great. Good for you.
I came out of Israel.
Is this for me?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. That's nice of you.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Well, listen, we got to get together.
Is that the temple?
That's the temple.
That's what it would have looked like?
They think that he's going to be a
Oh, you got to let these
We
guys
got
go.
Matt Schlapp
'cause,
on.
I gotta get started. Yeah. It's good to see you.
Okay.
Oh, microphone. I thought you were
Yes,
giving me
sir.
a coin. I thought you guys were the village people when I first saw you. I didn't know what was going on.
Maybe if they play the YMCA, we'll
Yeah,
dance.
that's right.
So with being the Native Patriot Online, I guess I built up a persona, made a headdress about,
That's awesome.
and our podcast, our personal podcast is the Cowboys and Indians podcast.
I love it. I played that as a kid, believe it or not.
Exactly. That's the whole point.
That's the entire point of it. Because it used to be Cowboys versus Indians, now it's Cowboys and Indians, and we're fighting for the American spirit and everything there. So you guys, this Matt Schlapp, he is the president of CPAC, and I mean, can you tell him a little bit about yourself?
Am I supposed to be looking somewhere?
We got a camera right. Yeah, we got a camera right there, but you can talk to us.
You'll guess will forgive me. I'm really not a rookie at this. I should know this. What do you want me to tell your audience?
Just a little bit about CPAC in general,
Yes.
and how it's been going so far. And,
Okay,
and
well, then I gotta
kind
turn
of
it on
the
you.
kind of movement.
How many
going
years
forward.
you guys been coming?
First year.
Okay, what's your impression after 10 minutes of this?
Incredible.
Nice people.
Absolutely.
Are they happy?
Yes.
Is everyone yelling at you?
Not
Are
yet.
they telling you what kind of pronouns to use?
No, sir.
Do they have masks on?
Nope.
It's kind of nice.
Yes.
And this is in Washington, D.C., which is woke hell. All these people, they're coming in from the suburbs. They're flying in from all the states. They're flying in from around the world. And they're just happy because we got a shot now. We got a shot. We got a 4-year shot to get it back on track.
Absolutely.
But it's definitely been building momentum, and the kind of there's true diversity here in the way that there's strength in individualism, as Steve says quite a bit, that all of us are coming together as patriots for this nation, and with the momentum starting to build, it seems like there's a coalition of people from all around the country that are actually beginning to take part in this movement. Example A, with us being here. I'm from a small town in Washington State, and he's from a small town in Texas. And 10, 15 years ago, there's no chance that we could have been here as media members and taking part in this movement. So I would
Were you, either one of you grew up as a Republican or a young Republican?
Not at all. No.
To be quite frank, I was raised Democrat from my family.
What age were you when you said, I don't know if this thing is right?
When I joined the Army.
How old?
I was 21.
Yeah. And that's not today's Army.
Oh,
today's Army might have taught you to be a furry or something, right?
You won't catch me in a DA photo with a mask on. So,
how about you? Were you raised as a Republican?
No, I was the exact opposite actually. Both my parents were liberal until 2019.
So I'm more. Look how I'm dressed. Look how you guys are dressed, maybe. But I was raised as a Republican, at least mostly. But I think I actually just kind of fell in love with Ronald Reagan.
Okay.
And he made a big impact on me. I loved the National Review. I loved William F. Buckley. And so I've kind of been a Republican my whole life. But then I got disillusioned with them because I didn't think they weren't standing for the stuff I wanted to stand for. They were weak. They got used to losing. And as a DC guy, I realized this Republican Party, I'm going to stay in it because I don't want to be Democrat. But they gotta get some muscles. They gotta figure something out. They gotta stand for something. They gotta we used to say, get your uniform dirty, right?
Correct.
Get blood on your uniform, whatever you want to use. And so when Trump came along, I had this great opportunity to meet him. And I was so excited. I was going to be the chairman of ACU. He said, why don't you come up to my office and we'll meet. And I did it. And the office is just like you think. And you guys might have been there, but it's just like you think, all the brass, all this football and boxing paraphernalia and everything. And we had this hour-long wonderful conversation. And I thought, well, you know what? He actually is kind of what we need. A non-politician, who's super smart, a lot of common sense. Did I know if he was a conservative? That I did not know. I took a chance, and we hung with him through the good times and the bad. We hung with him. We put him on our stage at CPAC about 47 days after J6. It caused a huge board controversy. People wanted me to disinvite him. Then other people said he's too old to be president. He's a has-been. We stuck by him. I'm proud of the fact we stuck by him. I think it was the right thing to do. History has showed us it was the right thing to do. And now he's signing all these blue binders of these executive orders, and it's a beautiful thing. And all these people here played a role in that, and they helped save their country. And I'm so thankful for them.
Absolutely. So I think we do really need to recognize what Donald Trump has done for this country, because he has fought for so many, almost a decade now. It's been since he came down that escalator. Now it's our turn. We are all together in this fight, and events like this kind of solidifies our stance with American First Principles and how we can take this and move it into the future.
And hopefully inspire our younger generation as well.
Look, the greatest part about Donald Trump is that he appeals to people that didn't grow up like I did, maybe don't dress like I do, maybe aren't my religion or my ethnicity, but they love him. And he appeals to them. And I love the fact that they win on calling me and you a racist. They don't even care. My wife is Hispanic. She's a racist because she's married to me. But they win on that. They win on the lie.
They used to.
And look what happened. Those people said, that's BS, and I'm going to vote for him. And I think that is a beautiful thing. That's my favorite part.
Yeah, and I mean, you can see the hat there. One of the things that we promote.
What does it say?
It says Tribe of Patriots. So
I love it. That's awesome. Do I get to have this?
Yes.
Do I have to give you $20?
No. No, that's from one of our sponsors, Smoking Gun Coffee. They are a small company in Texas, and they made that specifically for me because they believe in the message as well, which is basically back in the day when Native Americans had tribes. If you did something
Are you
honorable,
Native American?
yes.
And can I say, are you Indian?
Yeah.
Is that offensive?
No.
Do you believe that the Redskins should have changed their name, or is that offensive?
It's offensive that they took it away. There's so many cultural images that have been purged from our society.
Yeah.
You look at the Land O'Lakes butter, Nia on there. They took her away.
Aunt Jemima.
Aunt Jemima.
She was like
Uncle
this
Ben's.
amazing black entrepreneur.
Yeah. And so all the representation for Native Americans and minorities in general have been being slowly purged from society and deemed as racist. I just see it as a cultural purge. They want to get rid of the Native American history. This is one of the reasons why I wear this headdress in the way that I do, because I believe that we should actually continue that representation, because we can be a tribe of patriots. As long as we put in the work and love this country, then we can all be in one tribe, as opposed to being segregated off into different, the white man being the oppressor, or the, Native Americans being the victims constantly. I'm tired of that, and I want people to stand up for this country and protect the homeland, instead of just believing that they're a victim and of the oppressive white man.
So
I love that.
That's
That's
the difference
awesome.
between us and them. We're not going to go out there and call half of the country garbage. We won't do that, because we are an actual party of unity, and we want to work together to make this country as great.
Because we don't think of a group. We think of a person. If someone's a bad person, I don't want to deal with them. But I wouldn't say, well, he's a bad person because he's Jewish, or he's a bad person because he's white, or he's a bad person because he's black, or Methodist, or how the hell do they come up with this stuff where they take a whole group of people and they slur them? So, like, if you're a Republican, or if you're a MAGA, if you have "Make America Great Again," I've never seen it on a headdress, but okay,
I made it myself.
Yeah, it's good. I might want one of those. But they think in terms of the group. And by the way, they're thinking of our kids in terms of a group too. They're trying to destroy children, make them hate their country, make them hate their parents, make them hate their heritage, make them hate religion, and please make it stop. Maybe it all stopped. Steve Bannon said yesterday that, and Rick Renell said that woke is now dead. I'm not quite there. I think it's on life support.
Correct.
We just got to pull the plug.
Yeah,
we got to pull the plug and make it go away.
Agreed.
In Washington State, they're doubling down on child transitions and surgeries and hormonal, and it's
they're just
devastating.
Call it something different.
Yeah, it's actually. I was at a parental rights rally the other day, working with the Washington State Republicans, and trying to show some kind of force against the radical left in Washington State, because the government there, instead of learning from the momentum shift that the entire country had gone through with electing Trump, they're just doubling down on their insane leftist policies that are absolutely harming children and destroying the future of this country.
Can I say something about Washington State too, this is really critical. We had all this lying about, there really was an election fraud. Mail ballots are fine. Every state that moved to mail ballots has become socialist.
Yes.
Why is that? Because they cheat through the mail. And Washington used to be a 50-50 state, used to be a state that a president could win. You could elect senators, no longer. Colorado was a Republican state. It's now reliably socialist. They've moved Utah to all mail-in voting. Be careful. Mail-in voting is the biggest danger we have with these rolls that are, completely filled with errors. We can't have any more of it. And we can't let them back us down on the fact that what we're saying is a conspiracy theory. How is it that on 100% mail-in voting, no state has moved from blue to red?
Yeah, it only shifts more blue every single time.
By the way, the Christians that make up, by and large, our activists in our party don't believe in cheating. So everyone said, well, they cheat, we have to cheat too. Our people are not going to cheat. No. They don't believe in it. They think they're going to go to hell if they cheat. And by the way, I agree with them. So, we have to have a system that works.
Transparency is key.
I think they're calling me. I have to go.
Okay.
Do I get to keep the hat?
Yes, sir. Thank you for sitting down with us. I really appreciate it.
By the way, the Cowboys are in trouble too. They're getting rid of the Indians. Now they're going to get rid of the Cowboys because you guys are too macho. And you guys, I think, are with us.
Yes.
Do you think that's right?
Yeah, 67% of Native Americans voted for Trump.
That means you're in trouble.
That's all right.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. All right, guys.
Thanks for being at CPAC.
Thank you.
Come next year.
Thank you. I really
Yes, sir.
appreciate it. Oh, I forgot there's a camera there.
Oh, yeah.
So that was Matt Schlapp. He's the president of CPAC, and he had on a nice suit. So he looked
good.
good.
Seen like the opposite of like what we're looking at right now. You should have just seen like it was like 100 people that kind of enclosed the area.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna bring Matt back in.
Yes.
I know you just got done talking to Matt. We're gonna bring in Matt.
Not a real Matt's going.
Go ahead, Eddie.
So we got.
Take a look.
Where's the mic?
Oh, on me.
What are your
Come on in, Matt. Or here. I'll sit in the middle. You sit on the end. Or actually, you sit. There you go.
Matt, thanks for coming in again.
Thank you very much. How are you?
Here's your microphone.
Yeah, the schedules around here are a little crazy. So
Yes.
obviously,
He's on a really tight schedule. So
Yeah.
obviously, being the president of CPAC, it's a busy schedule. So, but
we're-
Matt here, he's one of our sponsors in shopwithamerica.us, and basically has helped us get here and is going to help us in the future. He was beginning to tell you a little bit about exactly what the company is about, what their mission statement is, and I can let you continue on with that if you'd like.
Yeah, hey, good morning. Thanks for having me on, guys. Shop with America is just basically that, supporting America. What better way can you support America by every day buying everyday products? You can only vote once every 4 years, right? But you vote with your dollars.
not if you're a Democrat.
Well, that's true. Multiple times. But you can vote every day here, every day with your dollars, because we are a made in America company. 500 products, all made in America, all ingredients made in America. We don't have any supply chain issues with tankers coming in from China.
No worry about the
made.
tariffs. No worry about
No tariffs.
Okay.
Our prices haven't gone up in 5 years because everything's made in America. There is no issue with everything made in China. So that's what it is. I found this company 4 years ago because, I've been in law enforcement for 30 years. I retired and looking to do something that's patriotic, supporting my country. And how can I do that? I found this company, this manufacturer.
Eddie, if you're leaving, take the mic off.
So I just found it the best way to support our country is with our dollars. Every day, we all spend money on everyday products, right? Toothpaste, shampoo. What do you do when you run out?
Well, and a lot of it's kind of trickery too, because we have this illusion of all of these choices, where in reality, a lot of it's just a couple of companies that have different brands underneath them, and they're all shipped from other countries. So we have this idea when we go to the store that that you're going to get something of quality or that is made in America, but in all reality, you continue to send money overseas every single day, and a lot of these companies use slave labor overseas. There's big political talk in this country over the past couple of years about reparations for slavery, and there's been a big fight about how we ended slavery here in America. But the problem is that when we buy products from China or from these various countries, they use slave labor, so we're actually funding slavery with our dollars every day. When we have American products, we know that it's not coming from slaves. We know that these products are coming from Americans, and you're supporting the greatest country on earth that actually fought a civil war in the bloodiest war that America's ever experienced. We were able to end slavery here. So if you want to continue that legacy, and if you want to continue this country's momentum moving forward on individual rights, then you have to support the American companies with your dollar every single day, because otherwise we're supporting the rest of the world against us, and the ones that are against human rights, that have just kind of piggybacked off of our success and are now exploiting their own people to enrich themselves.
You're right, absolutely. Every time we walk into a big box store, you got thousands of products in there, but really it's only controlled by a few companies. And those companies are dealing with China. Everything you look at in Walmart and Target, all made in China, all coming from overseas. Our company has the exact same products, only better, made in America, and with real natural ingredients. There's mega lawsuits against these companies. The big box stores, Johnson & Johnson, Unilever, they're huge companies putting out millions of dollars into advertising. They're all being sued on a daily basis. I had no idea the lawsuits, again, the damage to Americans. Products are causing cancer, products are causing illnesses. Nothing here leads to that. Everything is made in America, all natural ingredients, and our company's never had a lawsuit, ever, which is amazing.
This is incredible because, I mean, for the past couple of years that I've been speaking out on X and social media in general, it's that this is one of the main things that I brought up. Is like I used to buy everything. Well, for the most part, I still buy most things secondhand because that would help. It would help our economy, right? I'm not actually sending money overseas if I get something on
supporting local.
Yeah, supporting local people, giving them the cash directly in order to keep it in their pocket and keep it in America and for Americans.
Right.
But having a company set up like this, where everything you buy is already made in America, except for you're supporting the growth of American companies simply by using this website and using your company by being able to keep all of the money here and also get new products. And it's not just it's products that you can use every day. So what are some of the things that you sell on the site?
I mean, hundreds of products from, I call it your main three, your laundry room, your bathroom, and your kitchen. I mean, hundreds of products.
It's almost 1,300 products on the product side. And then there's also food on another side, which is like meat products.
Right, organic meat, prime cut, right from America. I mean, I had no idea just about the steak industry, how bad they are with the hormones and the antibiotics and all that.
They
coming from outside they're coming from outside our country. They ship the steak in. Everything here is made in America. 100% pure, prime cut meat, and the prices are better than
we're
any
in
competition.
CPAC right now, right? We're in CPAC. How many people here would, if I just polled everyone walking by, are you America first? Are you America first? I mean, just right. I'll genuinely do this here. Let me see if I can't. I'm just going to randomly do this, right? I'm just going to. All right, sir. Excuse me. Are you America first?
Yes.
There you go.
I got to get online for
there you go.
For events, but I'll talk to you.
There you go.
Yeah.
So there it is. How many people would say that, but then they leave here and they go to Walmart,
They go down to
or
Walmart.
they go to Amazon?
Well, a lot of people don't realize that so much is made in China in these big box stores. And that's a lot of our information that we show you. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. You're like, wow, it's not made in America. You're not supporting America.
Is it 13 companies, Pepsi, Coke, Johnson & Johnson?
Oh, it's 11 major companies that control all of the market. We call it the wheel of influence. Because really, the 11 companies control all of our marketplace. When you go into Walmart, you see hundreds of products in aisles, but really, those 11 control those. And those 11 are controlled by the top three: BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, mega billionaire companies that only care about the dollar, not about our health or products.
Exactly. You ever go into the grocery store and I mean, I was a poor kid, so we never really got the Captain Crunch all the time. We had to get like the off-brand.
Yeah.
It was the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Made by the same company who was competing against itself. Right? We've seen Ian Carroll's content, how he goes into a store and then he highlights everything in a certain color. Mm-hmm. And he shows that we have false choices.
White label.
We think that we're buying something different or better or more wholesome. Amazon just bought Whole Foods.
It's all marketing.
There's really no choice that's given to us in those box stores.
Right. You just don't see the alternative.
Yeah,
and if you want to go with let's say a healthier brand, an all natural one, organic one, it's 3 times the price, right? So people don't go for that. But that's why we are the alternative, because we're a family-run company. We don't advertise in the big box stores. They don't trust them. They're all deep state. We go just word of mouth, family to family. We refer other shoppers. we expand. Over 2 million people currently shop
Yeah.
with us, and they're never switching away because we know the truth in advertising, the truth in products, the truth in ingredients. It's all made in America. Everyone should be shopping made in America.
And not only that, there's convenience to it, and it will actually help you schedule your life out a little bit better. Because and the reason I say that is just because when you're running out of products at home, instead of impulse buying these things at the store, when you don't care where they come from and you don't realize that you're actually paying for slavery overseas, or the other atrocities that some of these countries commit, you're actually able to start focusing on, okay, I need these couple of products, go to the website, order it up, and then it gets shipped to you. It's completely different than just going around and impulse buying and not understanding what you're actually supporting with your dollar. You are supporting American companies, and to be America first, you have to embody it in every way you possibly can. And this is one of the easiest ways that you can keep your financial support in this country and keep the momentum building that we have, that the entire MAGA America First movement has. It is building, and it's not going to stop. Well, I will say it will stop if we don't consistently embody those values, and if we keep shipping our own money overseas. We're mad that the government keeps our money in taxes. Okay, well, you're voluntarily sending your money overseas.
Yeah.
And that has to come to a stop.
China.
Yes.
You're building whatever other country that's exporting these products in here. You're building that country. If you just were to quiz somebody, okay, not only you're saying, are you America first? We say, okay, what about you as America first? Right.
How about where do you buy your toothpaste?
Yeah.
Right, just as a sample product. Everyone buys it, hopefully. And where do you buy it? You say Target or Walmart, you're buying made in China. Okay? Shop with America is all made in America. We have plants right in Tennessee, Kansas City, and Idaho. So anywhere you live, you get an order delivered in 2 days, and because you're buying direct from the factory, not from a store. We're not in retail stores. We're online only, and you order it just like Amazon, right to your house in 2 days.
Which is that a reason for the price to not be so? Because you don't advertise.
Right.
This is how we advertise.
They save millions of dollars that way, and they put the money into the products. That's why they're all better, safer, cleaner, and made in America. And like you were saying earlier, it's more convenient because you don't have to leave your house. A lot of people live maybe 5 minutes from this market, or some people live an hour from the market. If they're in the middle of America, you order online right to your house. You don't need to leave your house. That's the convenience of Shop with America.
So we're not telling anyone to buy anything different.
Nope.
You're already buying everything. You're buying toothpaste. You're buying all the same stuff.
Right.
Just
we don't
go get it from
we don't have a
Americans.
different product. It's the same, only it's made here and it's made better ingredients.
Maurice and I think over the last year or so, we've danced around that idea of what he actually has forever. We've talked about it. So it was kind of like when they told me what they were doing, this is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
This is absolutely a no-brainer.
If you want to be patriotic, support your country, it matters where you buy your toothpaste or your deodorant or your steak, wherever. It's all here at Shop with America, and you are supporting family-owned, made in America.
And it's just a wonderful message that like Eddie was saying, I've been preaching this for years and trying to get people to understand how big of an impact your everyday spending has on who you're supporting. And yeah, like you said, when you guys reached out and I learned about it as well, it was just one of those things that like this company should be huge, and it should be used more than Amazon. It should be used more than just going to the grocery store and impulse buying. So many people will do that, and that's why they advertise. Like a grocery store is no longer just for groceries, or they're advertising constantly in the grocery stores. They will place products in certain ways to get you to impulse buy and to get you to waste money, and then you end up wasting not just the money that you have, but you're wasting it for the country because it's being shipped overseas.
Right.
So it's a trick. Every time you go into a grocery store, the way that they advertise is always deceptive. The way that they place products is in certain ways to get you to buy it. When it wasn't even on your list when you went to the store. And with a company like this, they're not trying to get you to buy anything that you don't need or that you don't want. It's straightforward with their marketing. It's straightforward with their website. It's straightforward products that it's made in America. You're not going out impulse buying. You're planning it out.
Ingredients.
Yeah,
you can pronounce the ingredients right.
Yeah, and so so this is something that I'm fully behind. For that reason, it's literally what I've been saying for years, and it just so happens that we were able to cross paths, and I'm really happy for it, and I'm glad to be helping represent the company.
Beyond just the advertising on how you get them into the stores and walking around the stores, once you pick up the product, now you have deceptive descriptions on the bottles. Oh, it's natural. It's all natural. It's real. It's organic, and there's no regulation for this stuff. Like take supplements for an example. There is no regulation on supplements, so people put out whatever they want in these products, and they're not. It's all about advertising. That's what sells. But when it comes down to the real product, it goes right through you. It burns right through you, and you're not getting any help from it. Our products are 100% tested, scientific, based on nature. So it's a big difference.
Yeah, it's we just saw the confirmation of RFK the other day. I had a great time listening to that confirmation on the plane ride here. But he didn't receive any in the public sphere. There was no resistance to the things that he wanted to make America healthier. Like the ingredients on the bottle of ketchup should be like tomato, salt, pepper, basic stuff, right? And it is that way. If you go to Canada and other places where they don't allow the junk in the food. But if you take a look at a bottle of ketchup and you look at the ingredients on the back of it in the United States, you see just big long words, red dyes, yellow dye, all these things that are in the food. So
I'll tell you why. It's straight up for money.
And I mean, how many people go to Trader Joe's or Whole Foods and things because they want to eat healthier, Sprouts?
They have an expectation that it's going to be healthy when a lot of it's just deceptive advertising. Exactly. They find different ways. Like I've had family members that go like gluten free, right? And they assume that that's healthy, but in all reality, yeah.
You're eating cardboard.
Yeah, in all reality, it's like you just
Doctors that'll trick them into thinking they're allergic to gluten. The human race wouldn't be here.
Well, there's something wrong with it. I think that in some way every human has a reaction to gluten. Obviously.
Yeah, mine is getting fat.
But it doesn't mean that just because something's gluten free doesn't mean it doesn't have other ingredients. It's like the Impossible burgers that they're trying to replicate meat, and they're not healthy for you, but they're sold as like a healthier alternative because meat has been so demonized.
Because they want to keep all the cows for themselves.
Well, I tell you, it all comes down to the money, and that's why they put in fillers and additives, chemicals, all sorts of things, because they're cheaper. Like let's take a cleaning product, for example. They put in bleach, right? Ammonia. Things are toxic for the human body.
Yeah.
Bleach alone is the #1 product responsible for poison control calls every year. Bleach, because it's in everybody's underneath their sink, right? So kids get in there, pets get in there, and the damage is permanent. So we replace that. We have plant-based products that clean better than bleach.
Your protein mix that I got at home, the chocolate one,
it's amazing.
It's really good.
And it's all
I've eaten
real
protein
stuff.
mixes from the store before, right? And they all have a chocolatey, like ish taste to them. But this one is it's a supplement that helps control your appetite.
Right.
And I blended it up with some ice, and it was really good. And it actually did what it was supposed to do.
Yep, I tell you.
I'm before I weighed myself before I left, I'm 12 pounds down now right now. That's I've adhered strictly to my ketogenic diet. So those of you out there that are on keto, they have several products that are right up your alley for sure. My wife loved the lotion, right? We got an array of things. Fluoride-free toothpaste. How many people want fluoride in their drinking water? RFK is getting rid of it. Fluoride in your toothpaste.
Just
Fluoride,
brushing it into your gums daily.
Yeah. And you wonder why the human race is so docile, or why you have to take SSRIs or MAOs, and you're messing with your brain chemistry even more.
Your own worst enemy.
Fluoride is the main ingredient in most, like it's in Prozac, it's in all kinds of medications that we take, and the reason why they give it to us, it keeps us docile. Meanwhile, we're being programmed, we're being docile, so they're just doing this to manipulate the population and
also enrich themselves.
Yeah, to enrich themselves and control us. And imagine what we would be if we were really woke, actually woke.
I mean, look, everything you put in your body has an effect on your health, and you want it to have a good effect on your health. A lot of things in mainstream big box stores they don't care at all about our health, and we know that through the lawsuits. All these major corporations are being sued on a daily basis because of damage to our health. You wouldn't believe it until you saw it. All you gotta do is Google any one of those major companies and lawsuits, and you see them. Everything is all natural with our company. Never had a lawsuit.
So you want to be America first? You want to become strong? You want to actually start taking back this country? Then you have to support it in every way you possibly can, and that includes voting with your dollar daily. That includes scheduling out your life. And I mean, if this is just one of the main parts of the MAGA movement that I've really enjoyed is the focus on individual strength and responsibility. And it's like there was a hippie movement years ago where everybody was like, it's time to be natural, man. Can't have all those products. But
hippies of yesterday are liberals today.
Yes, but I really enjoy seeing the strength side come out where men want to have these products that aren't feminizing them constantly. I mean, there's already
they're turning the frogs gay.
Yeah, they're turning the frogs gay. But in all reality, like that's why there's so many people on the right who are stronger and who are actually capable of withstanding a lot of these things, because they stopped ingesting these products. They stopped using fluoride in their toothpaste. They started eating more meat. They started taking care of themselves. And then it turns out once you start to feel good, you realize how sick you were before. You start to realize that the food that they've been giving you is literally, it's making you tired. It's making your joints hurt. It makes you a weaker person, not just physically, but also spiritually. And that movement and focus on the individual strength has really emboldened a lot of people and made us as a group stronger. So once enough of us get our shit together, and excuse my language, once enough of us get our shit together, then we can actually start to rebuilding this country from what it was supposed, or from what it's become as to what it's supposed to be.
Making America strong again.
Mm-hmm. Right. Strong. Unplug from the deep state media. Go with family-owned, made in America stuff. Support your country.
Divest.
That's it.
That's what we're really saying, guys. We're saying divest. Divest in China. Divest in every other country but your own. Christ had a saying in the Bible, right? And it says, remove the speck out of your own eye before you take the plank out of your brother's eye. So that's what America first means. And that's what we're saying. And if we continue, if China had a bake sale right now over there, and we knew every cupcake we bought from Xi Jinping was going to go to build something in China, while we have people starving here, would you still shop there? Would you still buy the cupcake? Would you still do that?
That's it. Like, we don't realize, and I didn't realize it before I came here, how much we support China every day we shop.
So guys, go ahead and play the commercial right there. Guys, check this out. Go take a look at it. It's shopwithamerica.us and sign up today. And this way you can start making your family healthy again as well. There you go.
Welcome to Shop with America, where the emphasis is on America. Our movement is to switch away from your shopping with the big box stores and the mega corporations back to supporting family-owned, made in America. We've been giving these big box stores our money every day for years. But what's happened is they forced many small businesses to shut down. We call this the illusion of choice. We see all these products in these stores, but in reality, it's only a few companies that control it all. There are thousands of lawsuits for health damage because they put profit over our people. But there is another choice. We found a better way. There's a family-owned American factory with product integrity and have always done things the right way for the right reasons. And this company outperforms the big box stores. That's due to their month-to-month shopping club. They make everyday consumer products that we all use and buy again and again, like toothpaste, shampoo, coffee, and organic beef. Go to shopwithamerica.us today.
Are you that stupid? I'm sorry, guys. I caught the end of that, but we're in the middle of a crowded room and people just keep walking into the camera, and I apologize if you see it jumping around, but here it is, right? Mike Lindell just walked by. Matt Schlapp came by earlier, as you've seen. There are a plethora of people in this building today that are shaping the future of America. We talked a little bit earlier about the pendulum and how it swings from the right to the left and back and forth and so much. But we're at a point in history now where we've seen that the movement, the conservative movement, what happens when we relinquish power back to the left. Biden spent the first week in office locked in a room, undoing all of the Trump era policies, controlling our speech, making our children less safe. It just really kind of going about this crusade of a counterculture that was the antithesis of everything a constitutional republic was supposed to be. And the idea that we would ever relinquish power after knowing what we know, after seeing what we've seen from the left, scares the absolute bejesus out of me. Because next time when they get in power, if they get in power, what does that look like? And if I were to ask you right now, Trump, let's say we're in the last year of Trump, and they're going to put forth their, whoever that's going to be, right? They're already talking about AOC, God forbid. Well, actually, you know what? No, I hope they do run AOC. That would be really good for us. Just as essentially the same way it was when they ran Kamala and Tim. What do you think, though? Let's just hypothetically say they run her and she wins. What does America look like at that point?
God help us. I mean, traditionally over the years, you've seen it. We've all seen it. The left is all about power and money. They're all about control. They're all about bigger government. The Republicans are the opposite. They're about our country, supporting America, building up our wealth, getting rid of all this power, get government out of our business. Government doesn't need to be in everybody's family and in the kitchen table. That's what's going on. And you see every time the Dems come back in power, they go over the line a little farther. We
got a breaking news story from Mike Scott. Says that J6ers are out front trying to get into CPAC and they're being denied access. And he said he gave us an X link for us to check this out. I'm gonna see if this is a thing, because if it is, I definitely want to. No, Mike Scott is his name, and it's on his timeline. Can you check that out, Mike Scott? So we're gonna look into that, Mike, and see what we can find out, and what we can. We're here, so we would definitely like to know. And it was a little difficult getting in here this morning for those of us that are media, but I didn't see anybody impeding our entrance to getting in.
No, I was smooth, but it just took a while. The Secret Service is definitely, they're on heightened alert, so they're going through your stuff.
They took my supplements coming in.
It's
weird.
Higher than TSA today. Due to, Vice President being here.
Yeah. Vice President's a good guy. Now, I started to tell you this story over there. And some of the people who listen to the network definitely have heard this before. But we were in Atlanta with our good friend Michaela Montgomery. Michaela is a polarizing, up-and-coming figure in the conservative party, and she's working with the Trump administration, strictly with the HBCUs, because Trump gave them permanent funding. So she's kind of working on that side of things with him. And while we were there, we were backstage, and I had the opportunity to meet J.D. Vance and have a brief conversation. And I'm standing in the hallway. He goes out, and he's on stage, and he's speaking. And they're in the event center down in Atlanta, there are all these spider tunnels. And they all lead to one place, and it's the stage, whether it's right, left, or center, or whatever, right? However, the Secret Service at that point were on heightened alert because there was an assassination attempt on the president.
For sure.
And they told me, they said, do not walk down any of these hallways, because if you do, the Secret Service is at the end of every one, and they're going to tackle you, as they should, right?
Right, for sure.
Then they all leave, and they go down to with the vice president, and at that time the future vice president, and he's on stage speaking. So I'm in the hallway. Another contingency of the Secret Service comes through the hallway. Tells me I have to leave the hallway. The president's coming. Clear this hallway. There's two ways I can go. I can either leave the building entirely, or I can go down these spider tunnels that I just got done being told.
Yep.
You can't go down these. So what I do, Matt, is I put my two fingers to my ear. I'm in a suit, right? So I'm in a black suit, black tie. I'm all, I look official. And I just duck my head like that, and I walk down these spider tunnels. If you go back to the Atlanta rally and you look when Vance is on stage, you'll see me wander out on stage behind him as he's talking. I breached the perimeter, and so I'm like crapping my pants at this point. I'm like, I'm gonna get caught. I'm gonna get in trouble. 10 minutes goes by. I'm recording, streaming live, and Vance is talking. So I'm streaming. I see the Secret Service. I'm not talking about the guys in suits, Secret Service. I'm talking about the guys in green that don't have necks. They're like a giant vein right here on the head. Exactly. So I'm standing there, and I see them coming, and I'm just trying not to pay attention to them. I belong, right? I'm trying to play that. And they walk up to me, Mr. Smith, you need this to be here, and they give me my credentials. So all of this, somebody was watching. Awesome. And they were laughing, probably just laughing at me, because here I am pretending I have an earpiece. I don't have an earpiece. It was a great time, though. I met a lot of people. I met Avita King. There's a lot of people. I had a chance to talk with Burt Jones, Lieutenant Governor of Atlanta, and very good, nice folks that are really out there fighting this fight every day. Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's somebody I really look up to, because she doesn't hold her thoughts.
Producer here?
That's me. You can leave it. You have a. Yeah, sure. Thank you.
There's my cell phone right there.
She has some real gumption, that lady. I mean,
yeah,
she stands up to everybody. She does not care. She's
no,
really America first.
And she's completely uncensored.
Yeah, they have to hold her back.
When I met her, it's like when you meet anybody, you embrace them, right?
Yeah.
I saw the look in this lady's eye.
Yeah, she's got.
I said, if I embrace this lady like that, I'm gonna get punched in the nose, right? So I met her, took my photo. We spoke for a second, and she's very matter of fact. And I just think, Lauren Boebert as well. And we just need people like that in this movement. We need solid folks that are
no fear, total strength,
not afraid, unafraid.
That's right. You need to be strong in your faith, right? Your faith in America, your faith in our movement. So, and it's amazing that we have such opposition in our own country about what's good for it.
Now, you're retired.
I am.
Retired from what agency?
I'll just say it's an unnamed 3-letter agency from the Department of Justice.
So you have a lot of experience,
Yes.
and I have the opposite experience. I was on the other end of your spectrum, and so we both know, what that world looks like.
Yep.
If the average American knew what, let's say, you knew, or what they were surrounded by, or what was in their communities, do you think they would still argue for the things they're arguing for?
I doubt it, because once the wolf's at your door, it's too late. You need to, that's why we put the truth out, and a lot of people just don't believe it. And that's why you need to listen to people that know, people that have been there, walk the walk, talk the talk. They know what they're talking about, not just, movieating about their mission because they want money or power. So that's where a lot of it comes from. People on the right are definitely more concerned about the truth. The truth is it, right? The truth right here. You might like it, you might not like it, but at least I do. I want to know what the truth is.
I also am one who doesn't really care about your feelings about the truth, but it should be the thing that makes the decisions for us. And if we really just started there, stopped there, we would be good. The truth is definitely going to be something that would set you free, as Christ said. Also, the truth will set you free.
Absolutely.
When we have debates between political parties, how different would they be if someone was live? Glad Glenn and have him come over. And how different would it be if we were just to say, okay, you can say your parties. Well, that's wrong because in the moment, a fair, impartial checking of the facts, the media would lose its power over people. The hypnosis would be over.
A lot of them have, right? A lot of them have seen a lot of the truth, and the left is now on the way out on the media side. No one watches CNN anymore. Nobody watches because they've been proven false, and most of the right have been proven correct. And for me, I want to watch someone who's correct or been correct for the years.
Well,
right? I mean,
we're seeing that with Trump, right? We're seeing that every time that they have blamed him for something or made some type of assertion about what he's doing, they seem to be proven wrong quick in a hurry.
Right. I mean, everyone can have their opinion. My favorite expression is everyone can have an opinion, whether however crazy it is. Doesn't mean it's true. So there's a big difference between truth and opinion.
So I'm gonna. So we report that J6ers are being denied access into the event.
How do they know they're J6ers?
Oh, okay.
Bought tickets?
We're going to listen to this.
Stutter. Oh.
Remember what I first initially said is that I have very limited information.
Yes.
And I very
We're going to watch this from the beginning.
Literally the middleman with
Right.
limited information.
Okay.
For some reason, I don't know why they CPAC wants to deny you access to that.
Okay. I know why.
Okay.
And I understand.
You said you do understand? Or don't understand?
I'm a J6er.
Okay.
And I have an
Yes.
unlimited, unconditional.
When I'm done with this clip, I want to bring Glenn on. But they are being denied access. They're out front.
I went when he called me.
They're literally saying
I spent all this time in prison for my country. Okay?
And I appreciate that.
Well, apparently y'all don't, because CPAC is steady every day kicking us out of CPAC.
Okay.
Just for being J6s, I'm not the first one.
Okay.
So can you explain
So
why
while this clip,
you would kick
is on, I'm going to
J6s
switch places with you
that were
guys
persecuted for 4 years,
and let
pardoned by President Trump, okay? Then I won my appeal and my whole case was dismissed. I have a clean record. There's nothing going on with me. Why would you pick a J6er at a CPAC in all places?
Are you ready for me to answer?
Yes.
Like I initially remember what I first initially said is that I have very limited information.
Yes.
And I do
Okay,
not.
so why didn't somebody get down there that has it?
Well, because they're very busy today.
Yeah.
Right. So,
I've been very busy in prison for 4 years.
That I understand. Right. But as of right now, they want you out of the hotel, or at least out of the CPAC.
Well, I'm checking the hotels.
Yeah,
I'll leave
yeah.
CPAC here.
And I apologize for it. I wish I had more information for you.
You do realize it is a shame. I'm considered an active hero. I stood up for our country. President Trump pardoned me. And then, on top of that, I won my appeal.
In the middle?
So,
Yes, sir. Got it.
I'm getting kicked out of conservative.
Dude, Steven, nobody called me sir all day
How
today.
ridiculous that is.
I hear it, and unfortunately, I'm stuck in the position of having to deliver the band.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, you're welcome.
All right.
That should be better.
Okay, I think we got it. All right, you guys. Your host, the Native Patriot, Steve Loves Ammo, and we have a guest. Yes. Glenn Baker.
What's happening, gentlemen? Life in the fast lane.
As you can tell, he's a musician. A singer. You can see he's got that deep voice.
There, especially today. Boys, when it's below freezing, all the moisture's out of the air and it just dries you up, but it's really good for that texture.
Well, I'll tell you what. I feel a little outnumbered right now. I'm getting surrounded by cowboys. That's why I sat on the outside.
I don't blame you, man.
I'm sure you have your tomahawk at the ready. Yeah, I'm circling the wagons. So
I'm actually a crossbreed. I got a little bit of Cherokee in me, but I wear the hat for the hood.
Yeah, well, I'm a half breed anyhow. So
So Glenn, why don't you introduce yourself to the audience?
Y'all, my name is Glenn Baker. I'm a combat veteran, country music singer, and we've just released a brand new film called Finish This Fight, Diary of a Pissed Off American Soldier. And you can get that at finishthisfight.us. And if we work things out correctly, we're going to do an affiliate link for you guys when we come back and do a show together.
Fantastic. Well, I like the sound of that. But, yep, ran into him last night. And he's got a really fascinating story with the new movie coming out. I know that, man, you've done a lot of work over the years, but movies seem to be your new passion right now. And can you tell us a little bit about that?
Brother, I'm going to tell you what. Every time there's been a change in my life, it's been God whispered. Coming back into music after being out for 17 years, which came from losing my freedom in 2017. You mean to quickly go over that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so 2017, I'm in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, get a knock on my door at 4:30 in the afternoon, 10 cops and a SWAT team. Long story short, you got to look at the movie to get the whole story, okay? But ended up in a jail cell that day, 23 days in Broward County, Fort Lauderdale, Florida jail without an attorney. Didn't let me access an attorney. Wouldn't let me
notify family.
Wouldn't let me access a cell phone. They said, hey, you can make a phone call all you want. But, smartphones has made us dumb. How many numbers do you have memorized, honestly? Truthfully, the ones I remembered were from childhood. I had mom and dad's number memorized, but we had just put them in assisted living that year. It wasn't going to do any good, So no access to cell phones. My kids thought I'd died. I was extradited into North Carolina, where I found out a charge was receiving property under a false pretense. That's where I found out why I'd been arrested. It turned out it was a former business partner, had embezzled $22,000 from a client that I'd given him when I exited the company. It's actually 7 months after I exited the company. And he told him it was me. This was 3 years later. Spent 51 more days in this jail. By the time I got back to Fort Lauderdale, I'd lost my home, my car, 80% of my life insurance business because it was a financial accusation. Didn't have to be proof. They just dropped me.
Once you get accused,
Yeah.
it's like the damage is already done.
Exactly. And the day after I got home, an infection that I'd caught in that jail that went untreated went into my right eye and destroyed my cornea. And so blinded in my right eye. So 2017 was an epic year for me. But here's what I want to leave. And this is a story I tell everybody. It's not about what happens to you in life. It's about what you do with what happens to you. And God took all of that pain and turned it into joy, a career that I love, and helping people and helping spread the word that, you know what? Our country wasn't what I fought for. I found out that this was not the country that I fought for. And so he gave me a voice, brought me back into music, and now we're in the movie world as well. So trying to make a difference, man. Just doing what you guys are doing, just in a different way.
Yeah. I do believe things do happen for a reason. You know, we are all set on this path, and I'm happy you found your avenue on how to express yourself and kind of further how, you know, because what you're doing is a passion. So like me now, I've found my true passion, which is social media. You know, I do like to also discuss veteran turmoil and like leading on to if I see like there's a veteran or someone in a crisis mode, there are a lot of times where they will never speak up. They would rather reach out to a peer rather than like a suicide hotline. Hopefully we don't get.
Oh, we got to talk about something like that too. We got some people working on something to replace that.
Yeah. So, but what essentially what I'm saying is, once you discover your passion, it's like you almost didn't even know it existed until it happened. You know, because you don't like what we're doing right now. This doesn't feel like a job or an occupation. It's just what I do. So that's where you find, you know, yourself, I guess, and it's been great.
Right. Well, gentlemen, I can tell you this. You know, people say, "Well, I'm sorry that happened to you." I'm absolutely not. I wouldn't wish it on anybody, but you couldn't say, "Glenn, I got $10 million. I'm going to give it to you if you let me take that away," because that's what put me on the path to where I am right now. And I'm going to leave you with something else here. Bad stuff's going to happen when you stick your head up. You guys, I don't know if you've experienced it yet or not, but when you stick your head up, stuff is going to take place, whether it's spiritual, whether it's physical, financial, it's going to happen. But here's what we got to realize. We can do everything right, but if we don't come back to God, it's all in vain anyway. Right. So God gave me scripture that I ingested as a child while I was in that jail. And one of the things is that he will take what's meant for bad and turn it to good if we trust him. And that he's got a plan for us, and it's to prosper us and not to harm, a plan for a hope and a future. But that's all dependent on what we do.
Right.
It depends on our heart and what we do with the stuff that he's given us. And I think you guys are on a great journey, man. I'm excited that we get a chance to get to know each other, you know?
Yeah, we are actually going to have Glenn on for a more in-depth podcast. Working out the details right now, or soon about it. But yeah, he's got a really fascinating backstory, and with what he's doing in the entire movement, including the movies and the songs that he's done, I think it's going to be really good for the future. And I like the way you explained that you wouldn't take that away, and then the hardships kind of opened up opportunities that you were able to seize because you weren't like down on yourself and you know seeing yourself as a victim. You came out of that stronger, as opposed to being squashed down like they want you to be. When you're persecuted and targeted, they want you to fold. And when you don't, you can come out stronger on the other end. But in all reality, the choice is going to be yours on what to do with the opportunities that are given to you, even though at times they seem really, down. I mean, obviously persecution, being put in jail and in prison and accused of wrongdoing when you did nothing wrong is devastating in certain ways. But you came out on the other side a lot stronger and with more of a clear mission in mind. So it is admirable, to say the least.
Well, and I appreciate that. I will clear my record right now. 3 years later, they finally dismissed that charge with prejudice. That's gone. It'll never come back. But guys, anybody that I've met that's in this world that we're in right now, almost everyone that's doing anything great went through some hell somewhere. I don't know. It's different for everybody.
I mean, it's kind of like a warrior spirit. So you see, say, a knight, right? and you look at their armor. If their armor is nice, bright, and shiny with no scuff marks, nothing, they are not truly battle tested in life. But you see that that knight that has dings, slashes, all of this stuff. You understand that that person has been through and experienced things in life.
Yep.
So that person in their self is someone that you can, that you can potentially, lean into them, for whatever guidance or any of that stuff. So that women are like, they do not want a knight in shining armor. They want someone that is battle tested.
Yep.
So don't be afraid to get chinks in your armor.
Yes.
Like that.
Brother, if you ain't got chinks in your armor, you ain't been in the fight. You've been shining that thing somewhere in the corner. You ain't been in the fight.
I like that. I'm gonna have to think about that and figure out a way.
You got the wheel spinning.
Yeah. I like that though.
I use my white privilege to do that. So.
Swat, man.
Guaranteed, brothers, every soldier you've ever seen that's been in a battle is haggard and scarred. He didn't come out of it unscathed. However, those scars make us stronger if we let them. And God will take that stuff, man, and he'll use it. Because somebody here right now, somebody that's watching right now, needs to hear what you've got to say. And maybe they need to hear what I've got to say because you drugged me over here and said, hey, let's put this guy behind the camera. Well, guess what, boys and girls? Life sucks sometimes. It just does. But I promise you, if you'll lean into God, if you'll lean into the gifts he's giving you, it will become better. You will become stronger, and you will find your mission. People ask me all the time. I get a chance to go across the country and talk about freedom and how it's taken away. And they say, Glenn, what can we do? You're doing this stuff. And I'm giving you their words, not my heart. You're doing this stuff. It's amazing. What can we do? I don't know what you can do. I don't really even know what I can do. I thought I knew. I thought it was music. And then 8 months ago, God whispered to me, Glenn, I want you to shoot a movie. And I'm like, what? He said, boy, quit back talking to me. You heard what I said. And I said, yes, sir. And we did it. I didn't have a clue that we could get that done. Never even thought about it. So listen when he's whispering, because God's got a still small voice. He don't scream at you. He don't jump up and down. Usually when you hear something screaming, jump up and down, pulling you or pushing you, it's not God. The Holy Spirit is a gentleman, and it comes with peace, and it comes with purpose. And if you're out there listening, going through some hell right now, buddy, ma'am, buddy, whatever you are, you're in good company because we've been there.
Well said, man. I'm really looking forward to the long form interview and kind of digging into what you got going on. Even though I'm not a veteran myself, I've had a tendency to kind of lean towards the companies and the people that support veterans. They seem to align a lot with what I believe in how to fight for the country and how the veterans have been mistreated for quite some time now. So that has been something that I've been interested in as well. So it'll be cool to go through all that with you. And I hope you enjoy your time here at CPAC.
Well, we will break it down, my brother. We will. And Steve, I would imagine you would agree with me. You've been doing this for a little while. What I'm finding out is a lot of the people that are doing this are stepping up into this fight as a soldier that may not have ever worn a uniform, and that's okay. Not all of us that are soldiers wore a uniform, but I guarantee you the ones that did and did it for the right reason still got that heart of a warrior and still got that battle in them. The difference is, man, you got the battle in the heart of the warrior, you just never put on a uniform. And I got no problem with standing side by side. Well, we may not be able to stand shoulder to shoulder unless you squat down a little bit, but I got no problem side to side standing here with you, my friend, in this fight.
Well, that's great to hear. Yeah, I'll be right there with you, man.
Outstanding, man.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for.
Bro.
Oh, let me get rid of that scarf. Thanks for seeing that and having the courage to do what you're doing, and I appreciate you pulling me in.
Yeah, appreciate you stopping by.
You got it, guys.
You get the microphone.
And here, I'm gonna have him come sit down with you about
Cool.
North Carolina haircut.
Okay.
So, here's your mic. Go ahead in there. And then
I'd love, for some reason, that's all we have. Some nice beer.
Thank you.
So that was Glenn Baker. Great guy.
Come on in.
Yep. We got a new guest.
All right. Hey, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
What's
you.
up, brother?
Nice to see you guys again.
This is Sean. You may actually see he's another square tip boot kind of guy.
There we go.
It's the only way to go.
That's right.
Those are my work boots.
Yeah.
Tips.
So, Sean, introduce yourself. I'm sure a lot of people know who you are, but kind of introduce yourself, your background, and kind of what you're doing right now.
Yeah, no, obviously I got my start. I've been in TV for 20 plus years, and but I most recently was on the Mr. Beast channel. But now I've moved on from that, and I'm getting involved in charity work and politics. So, but that started with obviously the Western North Carolina hurricane relief.
Right.
Put some Starlinks out, got Elon Musk attention. He retweeted me, made them free for everyone in the disaster zone. That was kind of a nice win. JD Vance reached out to me before he came down. We had a conversation just about what I had seen on the ground, which I really appreciated, because he didn't come in and just start telling people what was going on. He actually met with us. And I'll tell you also, Cameron Hamilton right now is talking with our Operation Shelters that we founded. He talks to our guys, multiple times a week, and is really listening to the people who lived it versus coming in and trying to tell us what we experienced. Right. And that's what we experienced with the last administration, was like, no, this is what's actually happened. It's like weird because I'm here and that's not true. So,
yeah.
But we do feel vindicated. We've been told for 3 or 4 months that we were lying, making stuff up, stretching the truth, and then all of a sudden turns out we weren't. So that feels pretty good.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. That's got to be nice to actually have an administration now that's working with you, as opposed to trying to control, everything and they weren't even helping out a lot. So it seems that you've done more work than what I've seen from the previous administration.
Yeah, when Biden got on TV as the federal government and said we've deployed 57 Starlinks, I had 74 out, and I was like, "You've got to be kidding me!" Like,
and he's bragging.
They're bragging about it.
Yeah.
With all the billions and millions of dollars, we got 53. I'm like, and I think technically they had a few more out by the time he announced that. But unless there was zeros added to that number, it didn't matter. So they had like 80 or 90 out, at that point. But yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah. Have you seen a substantial increase?
Oh yeah.
Efforts?
My buddy Matt Van Swol, he lives up in Nashville, and so he daily reports on this. And all of a sudden, these rivers that haven't been touched, these trucks. We're talking right off I-40. So it's not like this is way up the mountains and nobody could get there.
Right.
This is I-40 exit. You're there, Swananoa. Fuel tanks floating in the river, semi trucks leaking in the river.
Right.
All of a sudden, Trump's elected, gone. We were staying up till 4 or 5 in the morning, putting people in hotels. We spent $60,000. Thank you, Mercury One Charity. They gave us $60,000 to put people in hotels because FEMA failed.
Wow.
And then Trump gets inaugurated.
That's incredible.
Boom. It was insane. And then. So my whole organization is spending all of our time putting people in hotels, because you get a call at 5:30 and it's, you got to be out of the hotel tomorrow. It's 14 degrees outside. You got 3 kids. You can go sleep in your car. And what are the options? And so we're panic mode, and we're giving them 3 weeks. So we're paying for 3 weeks so this mom can actually get out of a panic attack and take care of herself for a little bit. And so but Mercury One came through and helped pay for all that. But he gets inaugurated, and immediately we get 3-month extensions. So it wasn't a law that had to change. It wasn't Congress. It was a swipe of a pen. And we will always say, if the rules are hurting people, you change the rules. And that was 100% possible under the previous administration, but they refused to do it. In the story.
And it's 100% possible just because of what's been exposed about how much money they've been spending in New York City just for illegal aliens to put them up into
$700 a day
hotels.
Yeah. Yep, $700 a day, $59 million a week. And I've got people that got $42,000 after losing everything.
And so just to put that in contrast, that's almost $60 million a week just in New York City to put these
just one city,
criminal aliens into luxury hotels. And he was able to raise $60,000 that changed the life of Americans who are going through hell at that point in time. So it's not a financial thing. It's not the fact that we don't have the capability to do it.
Right.
It's the fact that they refused to help Americans. And now that Trump is elected, and there's kind of a shift in momentum, and people are starting to speak up and actually change the way the relationship between our government and the people have. Instead of having them control everything we do, they're supposed to be representing us and helping us out when a disaster hits like that, the federal government's they're supposed to help
with
out.
our money.
Yeah,
with our money. Yeah.
I mean, the amount of taxes that have been just completely wasted on.
I was about to mention USAID.
Oh, absolutely.
US AIDS.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, but put yourself in their shoes. You've lost everything. You get told you can't even get a hotel. I'm going to try not to get super upset talking about this, but you can't be put in a hotel. But you got migrants, illegal aliens living in hotels that are fancy. Yep. We're sending money overseas by the boatload, and it is your money that's being spent on that.
I don't see how.
It's not like you took money from the magic money printer. I guess they kind of did, which is also devalues our money. But that's a whole other thing.
Print money, it should be for us.
It should be for us. And that's why I said, why can't we just print money for? I said pretend it's Ukraine and print money for Western North Carolina.
Yeah.
But when you got people who have lost everything, until you stood there with someone with their 5 kids who have lost everything and are told you can't help you because you don't have a proper zoning on this area that you lived on for 95 years. I mean, what are you supposed to feel? But like you said with US,
it sure feels like administrations for decades, it feels like, have been abusing the people and having an Americans last mentality. Yeah. And now that we've kind of taken over the Republican Party in a certain way, the MAGA movement in general, the America First movement, it seems like the priorities are beginning to shift back and realize how much we've actually been screwing over our own people. And it's from people like you who are actually going out there and putting in the work to help Americans, to say look what you were able to do with $60,000 as opposed to the $60 million they were giving to New York. I mean, that's a level of productivity that Americans have who have their priorities in order versus a government that the bureaucratic federal government that just decides to throw money willy-nilly. They don't actually have the priorities of America First. They had Americans last, and they want to look good for their next election cycle or whatever it may be. But their priorities haven't been to help Americans.
I don't get it though. What is I love to play games, right? I love games, video games, board games. Usually strategy has a meaning, and maybe I'm just naive, but I do not get the strategy of American Last. It's a losing strategy. I mean, apparently, right? They lost.
The reason why they were importing all these illegals is because I think at the end of the day they wanted to give a mass amnesty and to change the voting structure. So I mean, everything they've been doing over these last 4 years, well, actually longer than that, because I mean, we can go into the fraud, waste, and abuse with the global war on terror. I was overseas, and I've just seen it. It was just insane.
How about our walking away from Afghanistan?
Oh my gosh, that was terrible.
But all of
that should have lost in the election alone.
I don't even know how that didn't.
It wasn't brought up. It's not brought up as much as it should be, because that the way that we left Afghanistan it will be a stain on America forever.
Yep.
As long as it's in the history books, and it needs to be documented in the proper way, obviously, as opposed to what the media would say now. It's just Biden pulled out of Afghanistan. He held up the promise that Trump made. And they would ever mention the way that we left, the way that we abandoned Bagram Air Force Base over there, and just completely left in the middle of the night, shut everything off, didn't tell anybody, and abandoned how many people there, and left them in horrible situations. Not only that, caused the death of 13 U.S. soldiers.
Absolutely.
Should have never died. They should have never been in that situation. And the soldiers on the ground were doing everything they could to actually facilitate a proper transition, but the leadership failed in every single way by allowing that to happen and forcing them into that situation.
And I think what we've discovered with USAID, now I've started working with Data Republican and helping her with her work. And so what we're uncovering is this massive uniparty funding system from USAID. And it's both, right? There's a Democrat institute and there's a Republican institute.
Right.
And that money was going out to the world to promote democracy. But democracy in their mind is both parties staying in ultimate control, right? And that's something this next 4 years, we have to break the uniparty, right? It's us versus the uniparty, period. And we're not signing up with Doge. This is an independent operation, because it's going to expose Republicans just like it exposes Democrats. And so when people were talking about, with all these, they're like, oh, this USAID thing's terrible. I posted a list of 24 Republicans that voted for it. I'm like, you guys voted for this omnibus bill. And guess what? We're good this year. You're doing the work for Trump. We're going to be good. But I swear to God, if you pass another another omnibus bill that funds that, I am going to do everything in my power to make sure you're unelected. They're out of a job.
Beautiful.
And the American people have to hold our politicians accountable at the federal level, but at local level too. The thing I saw up in West North Carolina is some of these local politicians have a room temperature IQ. They should not be anywhere close to managing money. And but you need to go to these meetings and realize these idiots that are running stuff, and it sucks. But you guys have to run for office. You got to get involved because those of us who want to be left alone have to enter the chat. You know what I mean? And so
and
at all levels of government,
especially for your children. Do you have any kids?
Yes. Yes.
When I look into the future and I think about who's leading America, and as I'm raising, I got 2 boys, and they're going to grow up to be men, and hopefully they will be competent and capable, patriotic, God-fearing Americans that can contribute to society and not be a drag on it.
Right.
That's what I really want from them. But if I do nothing now, I know that the world that they grow up in is going to be a lot more difficult, and it could just. I don't want it squashed. I'm not going to clear the way for them to just, breeze through life without any hardships. But I definitely don't want these predators and these, uniparty bastards taking our money and dealing it out behind closed doors
to themselves.
Yes.
To themselves. Yeah.
And I don't care if you got a DR next to your name.
Yep.
If you're involved in this, then you're part of the problem. Yep. And you are not necessarily an enemy of the people. Because that's a fairly big declaration, but they've become a part of the side where they're overly corrupt and need to be removed entirely. And like I said, it doesn't matter DRR. This is about patriotism. This is about America first. This is about the Americans making public servants accountable to the public again.
Yeah, correct.
And making us as private citizens not be forced to pay for their enrichment behind closed doors.
Yeah, they shouldn't be fleecing us for 40% of our money to then just pass it around amongst themselves. It is the ruling class of old. It is feudalism of old under the auspice of taxation. So,
I believe we were corresponding on Twitter. Maybe one of you guys.
Sorry, we're still live.
So.
this guy's famous over here. Both of these guys.
About that. But you're absolutely correct. It's the accountability portion. We do not need to create more laws.
Yeah.
Because we have we have the system in place for the illegals and enforcing federal law with aiding and abetting and all of these things. But also we have a thing called the House Oversight Committee. What were they doing with all of this money? They were allowing some of these funding programs that were 40, 50 years old and expired to continue to go on.
And here's how it works. You get into office, right? And then you come in and they go, hey, guys, just so you know, we got this thing.
Here's the game.
And if you're either in or you're out, right? And you get to, and politicians want to be liked. Almost to a T, they want to be liked. Almost more important than anything. And they want to fit in. I mean, I walk around Senate in a hoodie, and John Fetterman does too, but everybody's got their clothes, and there's a decorum, and there's an honor to each other, and it's all just want to fit in and be liked. And when they tell you, oh, there's this special programs, you either shape up or ship out. You get the basement office, you don't get to be part of get invited to the parties, and so that whole world now with AI and with technology is being exposed. And watch for the government to want to control AI, because with AI comes transparency. Right? There's no more of this hiding this data anymore. And that's something that Data Republicans have been very good at, of this front end of being able to go onto your phone and access 1.8 terabytes of data and be able to search by officer name. And then when you see somebody screaming about J.D. Vance speaking in Europe, and you go punch their name into our tool, you start seeing all the money that flows to the charities that they're on the board of. And it's like, no wonder he's upset. So now we have this data, this proof that they can't hide from. Now they're going to. But going forward, and I'm okay with the clean slate as of January for a lot of these guys. Let's just be fair, clean slate, do the right thing going forward. This is your last chance.
You gotta earn your keep.
Exactly. This is your last chance. You fell into it. You made a mistake. Shrug it off. and do the right thing. And we'll see what happens when we have to fund the government this year. We'll see who steps up and who doesn't.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be very interesting. And I mean, so after Trump got elected, he came out kind of like a breakneck speed.
Yeah.
And after these confirmations, which I do want to check on cash.
Today.
See if that's, I don't know when that vote is.
Yeah, it's time to cash in.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Absolutely. Only cash. And I mean, it feels like the momentum is actually building. Like he's at breakneck speed already.
Yeah.
And it's like it's just going to continue rolling and get
Well,
faster.
the best part about his speed is the media can't react to it. They write these scathing articles about him, and then his genius has already been revealed by the time the article comes out. So they just look like idiots. It's hilarious.
It's very direct.
But I shook Tillis's hand. I shook Ted Budd's hand a few weeks ago, and they both looked me in the eye and said they were going to confirm cash. And so I believe that North Carolina senators will do that. But I drove to D.C. and fought for 2 days to meet with them and told them, like, cash, Tulsi, RFK, this is the stuff that's important, guys. This is what North Carolina Republicans want. And what's crazy is I was one of the only people walking around in the Senate hall. You can walk around in the Senate hall. You don't need a special invite. You can just go in, security check.
It's like it's our house.
Exactly. Well, it's almost like we paid for it, right? Yeah. But you can go up there, and this was right before the RFK hearings. I was the only citizen walking around those halls. Now the phones are ringing off the hook, which is good. I get not everybody can just go to DC.
Right.
But hard times take hard men. So it's you got to do the hard things.
It's time to step up, and I feel that a lot of people are. I mean, that's one of the
they
reasons,
are. They are.
One of the reasons why we're here in general is just because we're every day. We work blue collar jobs, and it's like we couldn't handle it anymore. Being silent, being part of the silent majority. It's now time to be we know we're the majority, but we have to speak up. We cannot be the silent
Give
majority
people
anymore.
courage to join the team.
Courage breeds courage.
And that was something. So for me, it was election morning last year. I don't post political stuff. Very apolitical, and then I got up that morning. I recorded a video of why I was voting for Donald Trump. And in the entertainment industry, that used to be. You're done, right?
Yeah.
It just went super viral in North Carolina. I know for a fact it helped North Carolina stay Trump 3 times in a row. But at that point, though, I put my flag in the sand. But the reason I could do that is because I saw other patriots and other people willing to risk that. And I would rather lose my job than lose this country. And that's what I said in the video. And so I put that out there. And people are like, what radicalized you? And I'm like, FEMA did. Failure of government did. Like, why would you come out and risk your whole entertainment career over this stupid election? Just the DMs I got. I'm like, what are you talking about? Stupid election. This is literally a turning point for our country.
Yeah.
And if you hide behind it, then you deserve what comes from it. And I couldn't do that. Not for my kids' sake, at least.
Yeah. Man, that's so I know we kind of went a little bit further, but what I wanted to say is this Trump presidency is absolutely intentional. It's calculated, and the way I got that signal was from Dan Scavino that most Democrats can't keep up, and he put like that little tired face or whatever, because they have been planning this since Trump won on election night. So, and I think this presidency is probably going to be one of the greatest of all time, because Trump was able to get in, and he saw. So there's so many people that say, well, why didn't you drain the swamp the first time? Well, I mean, first you have to know what the swamp is.
Exactly.
And how deep it really goes.
Correct. And those 4 years, it took 4 years to truly discover how embedded, and that's why he got impeached for talking to Zelensky about Ukraine or United States corruption. So he was also dealing with a lot of things at the time, but I think he learned a lot of things. He learned a lot of what rhinoism actually is.
Yep.
And what uniparty globalist establishment, whatever.
That's all rhinos are, is just uniparty members.
Exactly.
It's really all it is.
Whatever nomenclature you want to give to this. But this time it's going to be completely different because he knows exactly what he's going after.
Yeah.
And you're seeing this. He knows that Elon Musk is able to get in there and check financials, with IRS funding. And there's a video that came out yesterday that stated, it was the Commerce Secretary that was informing, I forgot who the anchor was on Fox, but stating that the IRS is laying off over 6,000 employees today.
She had a zero to it, but okay, good start.
That he was alluding to the actual abolishment
of the IRS.
And having the external revenue service. So
let's just say I'm going to put my money on an extension and just pay the interest on it just in case it doesn't work out for them.
So, yeah, that's my take on all of that.
Yeah.
So, really quick, we do have to get out of
Yep,
here
yep.
soon. But so, what are your plans here at CPAC? How's your experience been?
Hey, how's it going?
And what do you got coming down the pipe? Just
I have no
your own
clue.
personal life?
No clue. You know, like I just trying to figure this stuff out. I don't have enough. I want to have enough humility to understand I don't know how the system works, and it doesn't do you much good to go in and just start breaking things because that's I think that what Trump learned as well. He can now break things, right? That's not where I'm at. I just want to get people registered to vote in North Carolina. I want to support the great men and women who are already serving our state. I want to get involved in my local elections and make sure that my county, where my land is protected. And then provide for my family. It's just what I was always doing, just adding a little more, being involved with getting people to register vote. You know, if everybody in North Carolina, every Republican registered one person, we would be a majority red state. You know, and 30% hunters are not even registered to vote. And I own a gun store in Greenville, and so when people buy a gun, it's like, are you registered to vote? And they're like, no. I'm like, what are you doing? You're like, you want to protect this right? You know, so just the little stuff. Everybody just takes a little activism to like you said, boldly share the truth and get people to be active. That's the goal. I don't know what that's going to lead to. I can't pretend to know what things are happening at such a breakneck speed right now. You know, I want to keep, like I said, working with data to keep her focused on building tools that expose corruption and where the money's going. Yes. And I think the more we show the money flow, and we need the like wider public to wake up to what's going on. Right. It can't just be us here on X, you know, that are hyper aware of this stuff. It needs to go mainstream. People need to wake up. You'd be surprised to talk to people; they have no clue of anything that's going on. So
I definitely get that. But it sounds like your plan is to. You have a social media presence.
Yep.
Where can they find you at?
On X, the Sean Hendricks, spelled just like that. But yeah, I'm on X. I post on Instagram, but X is where the work's being done.
Yeah.
And I think it's the future of social media. So, but that's the best place to find what I'm doing on the daily. So
basically, he wants to lead by example, and with having a social media presence like that, it's. I think people are being drawn towards. Patriotic men and women who are actually putting in the work and showing that, I don't know everything, but I'm willing to put in the work.
Yep.
Because a big reason why people fail to step up, it seems to me, is the fact that they're intimidated by the process.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're going into things where we don't know what the process is, but we have a mission in mind and we have our morals that we're going to stick to, and that's going to help guide us through the process, whatever it may be, but we're willing to do the work. And especially a man like you, I admire what you did, or what you've been doing in North Carolina, and your plan for the future sounds exactly like what we need. Registering people, leading by example, and then showing, embodying the values you wish to see in this world.
Yeah.
So that's great, Sean.
No, they're literally riding off of our backs. All we have to do is stand up. It'll throw them all off. We are definitely the majority. Absolutely. And it's time to exercise that strength.
Perfect. Well said.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for coming on.
Absolutely.
Close it up.
Yep. All right, you guys. Thank you for tuning in. We do have to start closing down now. We are going to be at
Thank you.
CPAC
That was fun.
the next couple of days.
Absolutely.
If you are here,
I
probably see
thought
me.
you guys were
I'll
just
be
talking
walking around in this.
I was live on whose show was I on? I was on Colonel Manis's show, and I think it was Colonel Manis. And I'm in my truck in Raleigh, and I'm like doing the phone thing, and Adam Smith comes banging on my window. He's another rescue guy up in West North Carolina. We just rolled with it. I'm like, and it was great. And even Manis was like, he goes, "That's what I love about this new media. Is it's just so raw and real." And so it's not a problem at all.
Follow our Twitter pages.
I do. I'm talent. I was talent on the Mr. Beast channel, doing like the survival videos and stuff. I've been in film and TV my whole life, but when the Hurricane Helene hit, I kind of blew up out there for putting Starlinks to all the fire stations. And like Elon Musk retweeted me, and then I kind of became a voice on the ground for the people during the Biden administration of
bless you guys.
Basically just debunking the lies that they were telling. And then JD Vance reached out to me, and that kind of blew up again.
Take care, you guys.
And but yeah, then I've quit my job, and now I'm just focused on
He still got his mic
that work and trying to keep North Carolina red. And so
you still got your mic on.
Oh shoot.
All right, so I need to keep that in my memory too. Sorry about that, guys. We're not perfect with we don't have the production team here. Actually, we don't have a production team. It's just us. So sorry about that. God bless you guys. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow.
This is the Patriots Prayer Podcast. It's a tremendous show, one of the greatest shows in the history of the world.
This is Bryson Gray, and you are watching the Patriots Prayer.
PPN, you're doing the right thing.
On the Patriots Prayer Network. Thank you all.